Hello, everyone, and welcome back. There's a silent battle happening inside your head every single day. A war between the voice that says you can and the one that whispers you can't. Between the part of you that wants to grow and the part that's afraid. You wake up with goals, but your thoughts pull you in every direction. You try to stay calm, but your mind drags you into chaos. You wonder, why does it feel like I'm fighting myself? But here's something no one told you. Your mind was never the problem. It was only untrained. And once you learn how to control it, to quiet the noise, to choose your thoughts, to build your own focus, everything changes. In this video, I won't give you cliches. I'll guide you deep into your own mental power, where fear is created, where habits are broken, and where mastery begins. By the end, you'll see. Your mind isn't your enemy. It's your greatest ally. You just have to learn how to lead it. So clear your distractions. And let's begin. Rule 1. Master your thoughts before they master you. Your mind is not just where thoughts live. It's where your future is born. Every success, every failure, every dream, and every fear. It all begins in your mind. Imagine your brain as a garden. Whatever you plant grows. But here's the truth most people ignore. If you don't plant the seeds of strength, discipline, and belief, the weeds of doubt, fear, and insecurity will take over. And those weeds, they don't appear overnight. They grow slowly, quietly, without warning. You wake up one morning and you feel heavy. A small thought says, "You're not ready." And without knowing it, you believe it. You sit in silence and another thought whispers, "Why even try?" And suddenly, you're stuck. Not because of the world outside, but because of the voice inside your own head. That voice is powerful, but it's not always right. And that's what you must understand. You are not your thoughts. You're the one who hears them. That means you have a choice. You can believe every negative thing your mind tells you, or you can pause, take a breath, and respond with strength. You can say, "That's not me. I choose better." And in that moment, you take control. But this control doesn't come by accident. It takes practice. You must train your mind like you train a muscle. You need silence, not noise. Focus, not distraction. And most importantly, you need patience. At first, it's hard. The old thoughts come back. The fear still shows up. But with time, your inner voice changes. It becomes calmer, sharper, stronger. You stop reacting to everything. You stop running from the future. You no longer believe every lie your mind throws at you. You start choosing your thoughts like you choose your clothes, with care, with purpose, with clarity. That's when real power begins. Because when you control your thoughts, you control your focus. And when you control your focus, you control your life. So let this be the rule that echoes in your mind every day. If you don't master your thoughts, they will master you. Rule 2. Break the habit of overthinking. We talked about mastering your thoughts, but even when you begin to gain control, there's a trap waiting around the corner. Overthinking. It's not loud. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It disguises itself as being careful or just planning. But the truth is, overthinking is the enemy of action. It convinces you to delay, to doubt, and to freeze. Have you ever sat in your room trying to make one decision? and 2 hours later, you're more confused than when you started? That's overthinking. It takes a simple moment and turns it into a storm. You replay conversations in your head. You imagine every bad outcome. You question yourself again and again. And in the end, you do nothing. You wait, you hesitate. You miss the moment. The habit of overthinking is dangerous because it feels safe. It tricks you into thinking that thinking more is doing more. But thinking isn't action. It's only preparation. And if all you do is prepare, you'll never move forward. So how do you break the cycle? You start by trusting yourself. You remind yourself that no choice will ever be perfect. And that's okay. You don't need perfect. You need progress. You train yourself to act, even when it's uncomfortable. You stop asking, what if? And you start asking, what now? Take the first step, even a small one. Speak up, press send, say yes, say no. Whatever the decision, make it and live it. Because each time you take action, no matter how small, you teach your brain a new pattern. You show your mind that it doesn't need to spiral. It can move. And as you do this day by day, something incredible happens. The noise in your head gets quieter. Your confidence grows. You become quicker, sharper, calmer. And most importantly, you become free. Free from the prison of what if. Free from the weight of waiting. Free to move, to build, to live. So remember this. Thinking is a tool, not a trap. Use it, but don't let it use you. Rule 3. Train your focus like a muscle. Now that you've started breaking the habit of overthinking, it's time to strengthen the one thing that will keep you moving forward. Your focus. Focus isn't something you're born with or something you just have. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained, built, and sharpened. Just like a muscle. Think of it like this. If you go to the gym once and lift a weight, nothing happens. But if you go again and again, day after day, your muscles grow stronger. Focus works the same way. You can't expect deep concentration if your mind is always switching from one thing to another. Notifications, distractions, random thoughts, they pull you in every direction. And soon, you're tired without even doing anything. So, what's the solution? Start small. Set a timer for 10 minutes and give one task your full attention. No phone, no tabs, just one thing. When your mind drifts, and it will, gently bring it back. That moment right there, that's your brain lifting weights. That's how the muscle grows. Then you go from 10 minutes to 20, from 20 to an hour, from an hour to whole afternoons. And suddenly, you're no longer scattered. You're present. You finish what you start. You don't panic when things get hard, because your mind has been trained to stay steady. And more than anything, focused people see results. They're the ones who write the book, launch the business, run the marathon, not because they're more talented, but because they stayed with it longer than everyone else. Focus doesn't mean you never get distracted. It means you've learned how to come back. So train it. Every day, protect it, respect it, because your focus is your power, and the stronger it becomes, the clearer your life will feel. Rule 4. Stay calm under pressure. When your focus is strong, the next challenge is keeping it steady, especially when life gets hard. Because no matter how prepared you are, pressure will find you. Stress will test you. And your mind, it will want to run. But true mental strength is shown not when things are easy, but when they're falling apart. That's where calm becomes your secret weapon. Calmness isn't the absence of chaos. It's the ability to stand still in the middle of it. Imagine this. Two people face the same storm. One panics, reacts, rushes decisions. The other breathes, steps back, and thinks. Who do you trust more? Who makes it through stronger? When you train your mind to stay calm, you stop letting emotions control you. You don't let anger speak for you. You don't let fear decide for you. You create space. Space to choose your response. And that space, that's power. So how do you stay calm? Start by slowing down your breath. When your heart is racing, your breath can bring it back. Then ground yourself in the present moment. Ask, what's in my control right now? Not yesterday, not what might happen, but now. And finally, remember your bigger picture. Temporary pressure is nothing compared to your long-term vision. Don't lose yourself over a single moment. Calmness doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're centered. It means you refuse to break. And when everyone else is falling apart, you become the anchor, unshaken, unbothered, and ready to lead. Because pressure will always come. But the calm mind? That's the one that always wins. Rule 5. Let go of what you can't control. There is a moment in every journey where frustration takes over. You've done everything right, yet things still go wrong. People disappoint you. Plans fall apart. Life doesn't follow your script. And in that chaos, the mind starts to tighten. You try to hold everything, fix everything, but it only makes it worse. Here's the truth. You can't control everything. And trying to will only exhaust your mind and drain your energy. The weather, people's opinions, the past, the future. These are outside your reach. But what's always inside your reach is how you respond. That's where your power lives. Letting go isn't giving up. It's choosing to stop fighting with the wind. It's understanding that some things must happen, not to hurt you, but to shape you. It's trusting the process without needing to understand every piece of it. When your mind is constantly trying to control what it can't, it loses focus on what it can. You become reactive instead of intentional. And slowly, your peace begins to disappear. But the moment you let go, you breathe again. You stop chasing closure from the past. You stop trying to change people who refuse to grow. You stop wasting time in places you were never meant to stay. You start putting your attention where it actually matters. Your thoughts, your choices, your mindset. Letting go is an act of strength. It means you've matured enough to say, I can't control this, but I can control me. And that shift, from chaos to clarity, is the beginning of inner freedom. Because you're not here to control the world. You're here to master your response to it. Rule 6. Build a powerful morning routine. The first hour of your day decides the quality of the next 23. And yet, most people start their mornings in chaos, hitting snooze, scrolling endlessly, rushing without direction. But if you want to control your mind, you must start with how you begin your day. A powerful morning routine is not just about productivity. It's about priming your mind, training it to respond with intention instead of reaction. When you wake up and go straight into noise, texts, notifications, news, comparison, your mind becomes distracted before it even has a chance to breathe. You begin your day on other people's terms. You give away your control before you've even had your first thought. But when you build a strong, consistent morning routine, even a simple one, you send a message to your brain. I lead this day. I own this space. I choose what enters my mind. Start small. Wake up early, not to rush, but to reconnect. Stretch your body. Breathe deeply. Write down your thoughts or goals. Read something inspiring. Speak your affirmations. And most importantly, sit with yourself in silence, even for 5 minutes. That silence becomes your power. This habit slowly shapes your mental discipline. It creates a mental zone, a space where clarity lives and chaos can't enter. It's in that stillness that you begin to train your mind to be your servant, not your master. Because when you control the start of your day, you take back the steering wheel of your life. Your morning is your foundation. Make it strong, and the rest of your day will stand tall. Rule 7. Turn negative thoughts into power. Negative thoughts are not the enemy. Avoiding them is. Most people try to escape their negative thoughts by distracting themselves, pretending everything is fine, or burying their emotions deep. But here's the truth. You can't heal what you refuse to face. And you certainly can't control your mind if you're running from the darkest corners of it. Negative thoughts will come. Doubt, fear, jealousy, guilt. They're part of being human. But instead of suppressing them, learn to transform them. When your mind whispers, "You're not good enough," don't ignore it. Answer it. Maybe I'm not perfect, but I'm improving every single day. When it says, "You're going to fail," look it in the eye and say, "Even if I do, I'll rise stronger." Failure is not my end. It's my lesson. You see, every negative thought has a shadow of power inside it. If you grab that shadow and flip it, it becomes fuel. It becomes energy. It becomes yours to use. This isn't about toxic positivity. It's not about pretending the bad doesn't exist. It's about choosing not to be owned by it. About taking the raw emotions and using them to build mental resilience. To sharpen your mind like a sword. Your brain learns by repetition. Rule 8. Learn the art of stillness. In a world that never stops moving, stillness is a superpower. Your mind is constantly under attack by noise, by notifications, by pressure, by comparison. And yet, true control begins when you stop. Stillness is not laziness. It's not weakness. It's the space between stimulus and response. It's the moment you choose awareness over impulse, silence over chaos, clarity over confusion. When you practice stillness, whether through deep breathing, reflection, or simply stepping away from the noise, you create mental distance between what happens to you and how you react to it. And in that distance, there is power. Because a reactive mind is a controlled mind. But a still mind, that's a mastered one. Stillness teaches you to observe your thoughts without judgment, to understand your patterns, to catch your triggers, to redirect your focus. And once you do that, You stop being a slave to your emotions. You start leading yourself. Great minds, from Marcus Aurelius to Buddha, all spoke of the same thing. Stillness is strength. So next time your mind feels like a storm, don't fight it with more noise. Be still, listen, breathe, and then, when the storm passes, act with intention. Because only in stillness can you hear your true voice. The one that's been buried under all the distractions. Rule 9. Live with power, not panic. Most people don't make decisions. They react. They don't think. They worry. Their lives are shaped by fear, not vision. But if you want to control your mind, you must shift from panic mode to power mode. Panic is what happens when you allow your emotions to take the wheel. You hear bad news and suddenly your whole day is ruined. You face a setback and you assume everything is falling apart. Your mind rushes into the worst-case scenario, even when the facts don't support it. That's panic. That's chaos. And you cannot build a strong life on a shaky mind. But living with power means you respond, not react. You pause, you breathe, and you ask yourself, what is real? What can I control? What's the next best move? That's what powerful people do. They don't panic over the storm. They anchor themselves and guide the ship through it. Living with power is a mindset. It means training your brain to stop catastrophizing and start strategizing. It's refusing to let your heartbeat race every time something uncertain happens. It's the habit of grounding yourself in logic, in calmness, in clarity. Even when the world outside seems loud and unpredictable. And it's not something you're born with. It's something you build. You build it by facing stress and choosing calm, by facing doubt and choosing discipline, by facing fear and choosing courage. That's how you teach your mind that you are in charge. Your life changes the moment you stop asking, what if this goes wrong? And start asking, what's the next step I can take to make this right? Panic is the language of weakness. Power is the voice of control. And every time your mind whispers fear, you have a choice, to spiral or to stand. Live in power. Think in power. Move in power. That's how you control your mind. And eventually, your entire reality. Rule 10. Use your mind as a tool, not a master. Your mind is powerful, but it was never meant to rule over you. It was meant to serve you. Like a hammer in a builder's hand or a compass for a traveler, your mind is a tool. It helps you think, plan, create, and reflect. But if you don't train it, it will turn into your master. And masters don't ask, they command. When your mind becomes your master, it runs wild. It tells you what you can't do. It floods you with negative thoughts. It convinces you that you're not ready, not good enough, not smart enough. Even when none of that is true, you start living in fear, overthinking every little thing, doubting every decision. You're not using your mind. Your mind is using you. But here's the truth. Your mind is not your identity. It's not your soul. It's not some all-knowing force. It's just a system. And you can rewire it. You can direct it. You can control it. So how do you take back control? First, you observe. Pay attention to the thoughts you think. Are they helpful or harmful? Are they building you or breaking you? Most people never ask. But when you do, you take the first step toward mastering your inner world. Next, learn to interrupt your mind. When it spirals, stop it. Say, no, I'm not going there. When it repeats the same doubts over and over, speak louder. Speak truth. Replace fear with fact. Replace hesitation with action. Your mind might resist at first, but remember, it's your tool, not your truth. The more you train your mind to follow you, the less you will be enslaved by its habits. You become the leader, not the follower, the driver, not the passenger. Your mind can either be your prison or your power. The difference? Who's holding the keys? Rule 11. Regain control with microdecisions. Your mind doesn't take control all at once. It does it slowly, silently, through the small moments you don't even notice. Every time you hesitate, procrastinate, or give in to a fleeting urge, your mind quietly says, I'm in charge now. And you let it. Not because you want to, but because you weren't paying attention. But here's the truth. Real control begins in the smallest decisions. Most people think taking control of the mind requires some grand, heroic action. A total life shift, a powerful discipline hack, or a complete routine overhaul. But it doesn't start there. It starts in the details. It starts when you choose to get out of bed the moment your alarm rings instead of hitting snooze. It starts when you choose to drink water instead of scrolling aimlessly. It starts when you look at a distraction and say, not now. I'm doing something that matters. Every one of these micro decisions is a vote for who's running the show, you or your mind. Because your mind is always learning. It's watching you. It's observing what you tolerate, what you give into, and what you resist. And based on those patterns, it decides how loud it should be tomorrow. When you consciously take charge of the little things, when you act with awareness, your mind begins to submit. You build internal authority. You create momentum. You feel stronger, more stable, and more in command. You're no longer reacting. You're choosing. Control doesn't begin in moments of crisis. It begins in moments of routine. When you win the small mental battles, you condition your mind to follow. But when you let those moments slide, your mind becomes your master. And the danger isn't just losing productivity, it's losing identity. So remember this. The war for your mind is won in the quiet hours. In the tiny, everyday choices no one sees but you. Win those, and your mind won't control you. You'll control it. Rule 12. Rewire your inner dialogue. Because your mind obeys your voice. Your mind doesn't always shout. It whispers. It speaks in quiet phrases like, you're not ready, you always mess this up, or you can't do this. And those whispers, they're not harmless. Over time, they become commands. Your brain starts believing them, obeying them, and living by them, often without you even noticing. That's how the mind begins to control you silently, from the inside out. But here's the truth. Your self-talk is the most powerful programming language your brain knows. And the good news? You can rewrite it. Every time you hear that inner voice say, I can't, respond with, I'm learning. When it says, I always fail, replace it with, I'm getting stronger every time. These aren't just cute affirmations. They're tools of mental rewiring. You're taking control of the language that steers your emotions, your confidence, your choices. It may feel awkward at first, but repetition builds belief, and belief builds identity. The more often you speak power into your mind, the less space there is for fear, doubt, and negativity to take over. If you want to control your mind, start by mastering the way you speak to it, because the voice you listen to most is your own. Make sure it's leading you forward, not holding you back. At the end of the day, the greatest war you will ever fight isn't out there in the world. It's not against time, competition, or the noise of life. The greatest battle is the one that takes place quietly, inside your mind. This is where doubt lives. This is where fear whispers. This is where your past tries to define your future. But this is also where you rise. When you learn to pause before reacting, when you challenge your negative thoughts, when you decide to speak power instead of weakness, you begin to win. Because controlling your mind doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It means becoming aware. It means seeing your thoughts as tools, not truths. It means stepping in as the commander, not the captive. You are not your anxiety. You are not your distraction. You are not your anger. You are the one who decides what stays and what goes. The mind is a wild force, but with training, it becomes your superpower. So as you walk away from this video, remember this. Every moment is a choice. You can drift or you can direct. You can be pulled or you can take the wheel. The question is simple. Will your mind control you, or will you take back control? If this video sparked something in you, don't let that spark fade. Re-watch it when your thoughts get heavy. Share it with someone who's fighting silent battles. And if you're serious about mastering your mind, don't just click away, commit. Subscribe for more videos that challenge you, awaken you, and remind you that your mind is not your enemy. It's your greatest weapon. Use it, train it, and let it lead you to the life you truly deserve.